Hey everyone, this is Scott, Great Scott in most forums I'm on. And this is my TRX4 Tonka tow truck. This is a build that I did about 2 years ago, maybe 3. Actually, I think it's longer than that. Since I did my initial build, I've had it torn apart and I put it back together 3 times. And although I'd say it's not perfect, it's good enough for now. One of the key things is that little strobe that's on the top doesn't work. Of course, that's just a cheap Amazon light, so I'll need to replace that. But other than that, everything else works. I had servos for the booms, and yeah, it just looked like a retarded chicken. Just very little control. Now I've got linear motors going on there, and it's not the best, but it's acceptable. Before I wasn't able to get my winch mechanism working, I had geared spools there. Instead, I have replaced those with servo winches. And in addition to that, my lights are working. I've got running lights, and then I've got the 2 back spots plus the lights on top of the cab there that all turn on and off together. Drivetrain is noisy. I think I pulled the transmission apart and replaced a couple of the bearings that might be going bad, but it is fully operational. So I'm running all this with a RadioMaster MT4, which is good because right now I've got 7 channels that I'm using. I get that strobe on the top working, that'll be 8. And back it up a little bit so I can get close to the winch line. Forward a little bit. So I'd like these guys to be smoother, but it's not bad. I'm using RC 4-wheel drive winch controllers to control the linear actuators. Probably running a separate BEC on there to control them, and gearing down, or actually volting down to about 5 volts would probably help them to be a little bit more smooth. But right now, not bad. I will take what it's got. And then said for the winches, we get centered up here. Still working on control. So those servo winches work really well. Although I had a problem centering one of them. I think it's just a very, very tight deadband in one of those winches, which kind of caused problems getting it assigned to a channel. But they work good, go up and down. The left one seems to be a little bit more noisy than the right, but it works. And yeah, there it is. I can't get this guy hooked in here. This one's hard to do one-handed. There we go. This one controls closer to my thumb, a bit easier. One of the things I had to do with this guy, because let me get a profile here, see it better. Bring her in kind of close. There we go. All right, so one of the things I had to do, because this servo winch lays vertical, it the line wants to go down, and basically everything wants to spool up on the bottom, which is no bueno. Under tension though, it wants to spool up to the top because this pulley here is all the way at the top. So no tension wants to go to the bottom, lots of tension goes to the top. Well, I designed and printed these little pieces right here, and that keeps it under tension in the middle. So as long as I keep it in tension, the winch line goes to where it needs to, and everything works. So, yep. So that is my TRX4 Tonka tow truck. One of the things I had to do is I had to really tighten down on the on how much throw I could give the front wheels, because with this TRX4 chassis, it has a lot more turning than what the wheel wells will allow. And this chassis is a very short modified chassis. In the front, I've got droop shocks. I don't even have springs. I just have like 60 weight fluid. In the back, I have no suspension at all. It's just links going straight down from the chassis. For removal, it's kind of easy, a lot easier than what I expected. But in the back there are 4 screws that hold the back of the chassis on. And then in the front, just inboard of the shackles are 2 bolts, and then that Tonka faceplate with the lights comes off, and then further inboard are 2 more bolts that bolts the chassis on, and then the whole thing flips up. On the actual chassis itself, all I have is the motor wires and the servo. All the other electronics, the speed control, the receiver, BEC, everything else is actually mounted onto the Tonka frame. So, and if I would have thought about it, well, actually, when I first started this project and got everything, I didn't have a 3D printer. All that kind of came later. And I think what I probably would have done is 3D printed a section for the middle right here, and actually extended this out a little bit. Probably color matched it, painted it to look the same color as everything else, and smoothed it out a little bit. But when I originally started this, so it had to have been a lot longer than just 2 or 3 years ago, because I've had a printer since then. And just gone with a standard length TRX4 chassis. But as it is, I'm fairly happy. I need to get the Tonka stickers back on it so it looks right, but that is the status of it right now. Thanks for watching. Post up if you got any questions.